Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about my anxiety disorder. I had said that I was going to make a video about this, and today is the day. So I wanted to be really honest with you guys and say that when it comes to this, I don't really talk about it. I have told like family, of course, know about it, and like close friends, a couple of people. I haven't really talked a lot about this. One of the main reasons why is because, unfortunately, there's always like this stigma behind mental health and mental illness, which I guess in a way I was always like afraid of what people would think, or I guess I kind of just felt like ashamed of it, which I don't feel that way anymore. Luckily, people are much more open-minded now when it comes to mental health and mental illness, which is a good thing. And I wish this stigma didn't exist. Because when you think about it, mental health is just as important as physical health. If your mental health is not okay, the rest of you is not okay. Like, this is really important. Of course, your physical body is important too, but your mental health is just as important. Like, think of it this way. If a person were to say, I have diabetes, would a person be like, I don't think so. You have diabetes? No, I don't believe you. Like, prove it to me. It's just in your head. Like, you wouldn't say that to a person that has any kind of physical illness. So why is it when it comes to mental illness, people think it's okay to assume it's just in your head, or to say that you're crazy, or to be like, I don't think that's a real thing. I don't think that exists. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. So the reason why I'm making this video is because anxiety disorders are actually way more common than people think. A lot of people have anxiety disorders. And even if a person doesn't have anxiety disorder, people in their lifetime have experienced at one point depression or anxiety, or had at least in one time in their life a panic attack. So this is something that is just really important, and I wanted to talk about just in case if there's anyone who has ever, even a person that, like I said, that doesn't even have an anxiety disorder, but maybe at one point has experienced a panic attack or any kind of anxiety. Like, I think this is important to talk about, so I wanted to share my story with you guys. Okay, so I have an anxiety disorder. More specifically, I have what is called panic disorder. So I wanted to read to you guys the definition of it, and basically what it is, what it means. So panic disorder occurs when you experience recurring unexpected panic attacks. So panic disorder is when essentially you experience panic attacks, and sometimes those panic attacks come up for no reason. Like, I could literally be having the most calm, peaceful day, and I'll just get a panic attack out of nowhere. And sometimes I can go months without experiencing a really intense panic attack. Every now and then I'll have what I call mini panic attacks, where like I'll feel certain like physical symptoms, like my heart will accelerate, or I'll feel kind of like numbness in my arms or in my face and stuff like that. But they're very minor. But every now and then I'll experience like really intense ones. So you may experience physical symptoms such as racing heart, difficulty breathing, sweating. There's a lot of symptoms. If you guys are interested, maybe I'll make a video just talking about my symptoms, and I can make a video about how I have learned to cope with panic attacks. But just in this video, I mostly wanted to talk about my story and how I discovered that I had this. Okay, so it says symptoms of panic disorder often begin to appear in teens and young adults under the age of 25. If you have had 4 or more panic attacks, or you live in fear of having another one, you may have panic disorder. So, ever since I was a kid, I have always been very anxious, very nervous, and I have read, because I got this anxiety textbook, I had read before that if you are a very nervous kid, you're more likely to develop an anxiety disorder later on in life. Also, it's something that could be genetic, and I strongly believe that it could be genetic because I know of certain family members in my life who have experienced certain symptoms similar to mine, and I just strongly believe it's genetic. Partly, I grew up very anxious, like I said, a really nervous kid. So the first time that I experienced a panic attack, but like a really intense one where I thought I was actually dying, might have been when I was like 12 or 13. And I didn't tell anybody about it. I just remember this one night I got up in the living room and I just felt like I was dying. I felt like it was the end of the world. I thought I was just gonna fall dead right then and there, and I had a really intense panic attack, which at the time I had no idea what it was. I got up in the living room, I just started to walk around in circles, and it went away maybe within like 20 minutes or something. And I never talked about it, and I never thought about it again. I let it go. So I had read that the panic disorder is more likely to develop around the age of 20, and it was around, I think I might have been 20 or maybe 21, but around the age of 20, 21, I remember for months I was experiencing those physical symptoms that I read to you, my accelerated heart rate, but I was also experiencing numbness in my arms and in my legs. So at the time, I didn't know what I had. I didn't know that it was anxiety. I didn't really know what an anxiety disorder was or panic disorder. I knew nothing. But I realized that the more anxious that I got, the worse my physical symptoms got. And it was just like a never-ending cycle. So it's like I would feel numbness, my heart rate would be accelerating and everything, and it would scare me, and then it would get worse. And it was just like the more anxious I got, the worse my physical symptoms got. The worse my physical symptoms got, the worse my anxiety got. So I was experiencing this, and I was like really scared that I was experiencing like numbness in my arms and my legs. So I made an appointment to the doctor because once again I was like, I am dying, there's something wrong with me, I need to go get that checked out on the doctor. So I went to the doctor, I told her what I was experiencing. She had me do a blood test and a urine sample and x-rays, and let me tell you, they took out a lot of tubes of blood, and I didn't get my cookie or my juice. But that's besides the point. So yeah, they did all of that. I went home, and maybe a week passed, I'm not sure, but when she got the results, she called me, and she said that I was fine. She was like, I didn't find anything wrong, like everything seems good, but she told me if you still continue feeling that, I could send you to a neurologist, but everything looks good. So I thought that's weird. And also by this point, those symptoms that I was feeling, they were gone. And I thought, okay, that's weird. Like I noticed that when I felt anxious, I had all these symptoms, but when I finally relaxed about it and tried not to stress about it, I felt fine. So this went on for like, I don't know, I want to say for like at least a year of me in confusion of what was going on. So I went to the internet and I typed in the way that I was feeling, and what came up was panic disorder. And I saw a forum of people that had panic disorder and they were talking about it, and I thought, oh my gosh, like the way that they're describing it is exactly how I feel. So yeah, I have panic disorder. I found out, through research and everything, but also a couple years back, I went to the doctor, and when you have an anxiety disorder, you tend to have like an irregular heartbeat. And I went for my checkup, and she heard, just by listening to my heartbeat alone, all she did was listen to it, and she got really quiet, and then she went, do you have anxiety? And I said, yes. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna give you, she gave me a packet for anxiety disorder, so that, ways to like cope with my anxiety and panic attacks and everything. But yeah, so it's been confirmed The doctor confirmed it that I do indeed have an anxiety disorder. More specifically, I have panic disorder. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, just in case if there's anybody else that has panic disorder or any anxiety disorder. It's important to talk about, and mental health is something that's really important. So if you guys are interested in me talking more about my symptoms, let me know if you want to see a video on that. I can make a video talking about like the symptoms that I get. I know that every person gets different symptoms. Like I know that when people get panic attacks, some hyperventilate. I actually don't hyperventilate. My breathing gets like weird, but I don't go like like I don't hyperventilate. But yeah, I can make a video talking about that. Nocturnal panic attacks, those are by far the worst. Is waking up into a panic attack, because already when you have a panic attack, you already feel out of it and confused, and imagine on top of that just waking up in the middle of the night into one. I get those sometimes, and those are the worst. And yeah, I can talk about like how I have learned to cope with it. Unfortunately, there is no cure for panic disorder or anxiety disorders in general. I know some people take medication. I am not one of those people. If you take medication, I do not judge you. You do you. It's just a personal choice where I'd rather not take medication. I do stuff like drink lots of water and avoid caffeine, things like that. But if you guys are interested of how I have learned to cope with panic attacks, I can make a video on that. And yeah, mostly I just wanted to share this with you guys and talk a little bit about my story and how I figured out that I had this. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and let me know if you guys want to see more videos on anxiety, and you guys let me know. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.